He was there for the launch of a project by Devki Steel Mills, a project that is supposed to benefit the people of that area. And of course, they were there, many of them, wakimsikiza. But then now, the story turned from being a project that is supposed to help the people to the president lamenting about how projects za serikali zinakataliwa. He talked about, you heard that soundbite, akisema mambo ya mapepo, talking about how even hicho kiwanda kinachozinduliwa maswali yataibuka. He talked about affordable housing and inapingwa. He talked about chanjo ya ng'ombe. It's a recent one that's being introduced by the government. They're saying university funding is an issue. Anasema, so anasema miradi yote serikali moja inakataliwa. And it seems to have really irritated the head of state, kiasi cha kwamba amezungumza hivi. And I'm trying to remember the last time that he spoke this way, and nothing comes to mind. And I remember when he came on the podium for this event, he had a speech, but first alizungumza off the cuff, akasema mambo yote, and then he went back to his speech. And he still continued about how people are celebrating about the cancellation of the Adani JKIA deal, and he's saying why are people undermining the Kenya Kwanza government projects. And a lot of people would say part of the reason is sometimes they don't really understand what these projects are all about. Even I think we have a trust deficit in this country. And I think the trust that the people have in the government, in my opinion, is hanging by a thread. So much so that even if it's something that is good for them, watu hawataki kusikia. And it's because of past experiences in terms of, one, the communication on things are being introduced. Sometimes you don't hear enough. Sometimes you feel like you're being told a bit too late. There are instances when people feel like things are being shoved down their throats. We can give an example of the affordable housing. Public participation said we didn't want it. It still went on and it was introduced. The SHA, the malalamishi about it, people asking NHIF iko sawa, mbona tunabadilisha? Why are you introducing something new? And even if we are, why don't you take time? There was the deadline of 1st of October, lazima mukwe registered. The university funding, there was the help that used to work before. Yeah. Yes, there were issues. I'm not saying these things were, the ones that were there before were perfect, but there could have been better ways for them to be introduced. Even the Adani deal, remember in the beginning when it broke, there were denials about it being there until the government could not deny it anymore. So all these things culminate in a whole environment of hatuamini chochote ambacho serikali inatuambia. And people now have an avenue to air out their frustrations. Social media. Watu wanazungumza. They're talking about how they're not happy about this or that. They're talking about how they don't want this implemented or that. But at the end of it all, Yvonne, nani anawasikiza? Yeah. Because these projects are still being implemented. So the president's frustration, I think, stem from the fact that mbona chochote ambacho kama serikali tunatangaza haikubaliwi. Why are we not receiving your overwhelming support that they expected? I think for him, this was a point when I think hiyo kusemwa, kukataliwa from every quarters imejitokeza, including by the church. Remember, they've been very scathing attacks against him. Paka pesa za matoleo zinakataliwa pale kanisani. So I think for him, in culmination of vitu vingi ambavyo vimekuwa vikitokea, na akaona
And that's an interesting one because I think people were wondering where this all came from. Because he suddenly seemed to be, I mean, he mentioned a raft of issues like Jamilah has said from, all the deals, plus what's happening with the church. Sam, it's been a heavy week, I suppose, that has led up to that